Let's start with the last episode. I'll just run through the last episode, what we went through, and then by the time people have time to join, if they are a few minutes late as well. So last season 1, episode 9 was the last one. We started with Bhaya Sutra. We looked at how to stop the suffering. So it was the opposite of the Paticca Samuppada. So we looked at how to nirodha, how to go through the nirodha cycle instead of the dukkha cycle, right? So avidya asesa viraga nirodho, sankhara nirodho, vijnana nirodho, nama rupa nirodho, salayatana nirodho, sparsha nirodho, vedana nirodho, tanna nirodho, upadana nirodho, bhava nirodho, jati nirodho. So that was the cycle we went through. Then jara marana soka parideva dukkha domanassa nirujjanti. That is how you get rid of the jara marana soka parideva. So we looked at that. That was the first thing we looked at. Then we moved on to Mahanama Sutra. Then Tathagata once explained Mahanama, when one concentrates on Buddha, as in Bhave Udura Damana, or Ragakaya, Dveshakaya, Mohakaya, that person can prevent Raga, Dvesha and Moha thoughts coming in. The focus would be on Buddha, right? So the focus, there is no Raga, no Dvesha and no Moha. Therefore there is no suffering. So there it will result in a happiness. That happiness results in a pleasure, a pleasurable feeling. And this is the way to get to the dhyana. And even in the dhyana, the explanation of the dhyana is priti manassakayo passaddati passaddakayo sukham vediyati sukhino samadhiyati. So that is the way to get to the dhyana. So savitakkan savicharam vivekajam priti sukham patama jhana. So that is how you get to the pratama dhyana or patama jhana. Okay, moving on, we looked at Asankheya Sutra. This was also a very important one, because this is how you create rivers of merits. Now, before one became Sotapanna, that person didn't have an idea as to how to create Kusala Ganga, Punya Ganga, which is known as rivers of merits. It's not tiny little bits or pieces of merits. These are major ones. So how one can create is, there are 4 ways. One is avecca prasade towards Buddha, avecca prasade towards Dhamma, avecca prasade towards Sangha, and one gets into Aryakanta Sila. When one gets into the Aryakanta Sila, as in one becomes Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami or Arihat, then the Punya Ganga and Kusala Ganga comes flowing in. It doesn't apply to Rahatan Vahanse, because once you become Rahatan Vahanse, then there is no, you don't create merits anymore. There is no point in creating any merits, right? And it doesn't happen. And the most important thing is, there is no limit for the merits on this, because this the closer to Nibbhana you get, or the closer any activity is to Nibbhana, that will create the more merits, right? In other words, doing Arya meditations and achieving Samma Samadhi is also a very powerful merit, right? So even after trying, if one cannot achieve dhyana, that is also okay, because of the unlimited merits that you gain from trying to do it, right? Then the next one we looked at was making Trishna second priority is not Nibbhana. So just because you put Trishna into second priority, you're not focusing on Trishna, you're just keeping that to a side. As in, you're not going behind things. because you're putting that to the second priority, but that is not going to take you to Nibbhana for certain, right? That was explained in the Trishna Sutra in Anguttara Nikaya. So the idea is to not let everything go, because you need to attach to certain things in order to walk the path. Then we looked at Nidana Sutra in Samyukta Nikaya. There, if there is anything that gives a desire or attachment feeling, seeing that is anicca, dukkha and anatta. Also you need to look at that as a roga or a buyer, then it will stop you in attaching to it further, right? So whether it's in the past or present or future, it applies to any time period. That's also something that we looked at. It's only one path, it's only one way, and it's only one method, right? Yeah, that is what we looked at in the Nidana Sutra. Then we looked at the Sunyatave. We looked at the Shunyatave. Shunyatave is explained in different ways by different people. Shunya means zero or means nothing. So what is nothing is what you need to understand here. People think, oh, there is nothing. There is nothing in the world. There is nothing outside. There is Rupa is nothing. It's not about whether it's Rupa is nothing. It's not about whether the world is nothing. What you have to look at is whether there is any asada in the outside world. That is what is very important, and once you get to know that, then you will understand and you will be able to walk the path very with a lot of focus. You know what to do and what not to do. Until then, you're not going to know what to do, right? So you're looking at the asada, whether you're creating any asada. That is the problem. The abhisankhara is the problem. Then we looked at the same thing we looked at from the Pindapata Parisuddhi Sutra, where Tathagatayan Vahanse and Sariputta was having a conversation, and the Tathagatayan Vahanse was asking Sariputta, how do you spend the time, kind of thing, what kind of viharana are you following? Then Sariputta said, when I'm mainly on Shunyata Viharana. Also in the same sutra it says, Pruthajjana, a person who does not understand Dhamma, he thinks there is nothing. It's not about whether there is nothing or there is anything. It's about whether is there any asada or is there no asada in there, right? Then we looked at the Samyukta Nikaya Gilana Sutra is Buddhism for Sila Visuddhiya or Raga Viragya. Because there are many people who try to prove that this is to do with the Sila, you get the discipline and then go to the next stage, right? But we looked at the sutra and we found out it's not for Sila Visuddhiya, but it is for Raga Viragya. Then we moved on to Pitakopadesha. If there is any Lokottara Sila, the Lokottara Sila is the Aryakanta Sila, the Sila that you get to once you become a Sotapanna or get to the Marga, to any of these stages. Then we looked at Sila Sampanna Sutra. When one comprehends five things, he becomes Ahuneya, Pahuneya, Dakhineya, Anjali and Anuttaram Punyakkettam, right? So what are the five? Sila Sampanna, Samadhi Sampanna, Prajna Sampanna, Vimukti Sampanna and Vimukti Jnana Darsana Sampanna. Those were the five. So the conclusion we got from there was Buddha's teachings are for Raga Viraga and not Sila Visuddhi. So the main concern here is the Raga Viraga. Once you do the Raga Viraga, the Sila Visuddhi happens automatically. That was the point. Then we talked about Shraddha, Sila, Prajna, Sila and Samadhi. So in the Majjhima Nikaya Chulla Vedala Sutra, it's explaining about the eightfold path, Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa. And in there it says Prajna. Those are the two Prajna ones, to do with the wisdom. And then the two, there are three to do with Sila, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanta, and Samma Ajiva. Then comes the Sila. Then comes the Samadhi. The Samadhi is Samma Vayama, Samma Sati, and Samma Samadhi. These three are the Samadhi ones. So you need to make sure you understand that and then follow the correct route, because you get to Samma Ditti. You can't get to Samma Samadhi or Samma Sati or Samma Vayama without getting into Samma Ditti. Samma Ditti is the first step in the eightfold path. So the first step, you have to take the first step. You need to understand the Dhamma. You need to understand the Four Noble Truths. And you need to understand Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, Asada, Adinava, Nissarana. Once you understand those concepts is when you can walk the path. Then you get to the Samma Sankappa, right? So Prajna comes first. Then we also looked at Meghasala Sutra, where it said one cannot look at a person and identify whether that person was in one state or not, because the Meghasala was asking whether her father, what state was he in, or where did he end up going into. Then Tathagata once said he ended up in the Tusita heaven. And then again she asked where did her stepfather ended up. Then Tathagata once said he ended up in Tusita heaven as well. But then she had a problem. No, that's impossible, because one was a ascetic and the other one was living in a house doing all sorts of things. So the point we need to take from here is you can't look at one person and identify whether he's at this stage or that state. You can't, because it's to do with the mind. It's the cooling down of the mind of one person. So one cannot look at another person from outside and tell how much cooled down he or she is, right? It's going to be wrong most of the time. So it's better not to assume. And then we looked at the Jnana Vibhanga to identify what are the 6 things that a Sotapanna would not do, which are very important to know. The 5 Panchanantariya Papa Karma: killing mother, killing father, killing Rahatan Vanshe, and shedding blood from Lord Buddha, then Sangha Bede, and then the 6th one was the becoming a permanent Mithya Ditti. So those are the 6 things that would not happen from a Sotapanna. This is very important, because if you have a wrong understanding, you will make wrong assumptions and you will end up in a lot of trouble, right? And then you need to understand what Sutava Paribrajaka Sutra explains, what Arihatun Vahanse, what doesn't happen from an Arihatun Vahanse. This is a person who's enlightened. So that is when the killings don't happen. No killing will happen. Will not kill knowingly, will not steal knowingly. So that is to do with Arihatun Vahanse. So that is what you need to know. So those were the things that we looked at last week. Coming to today's episode, which is episode 10. Quite a lot of people have joined in the process, which is good. So today we are going to discuss about Adinava. The first thing that we are going to look at is Adinava. Asada, Adinava, Nissana. From that we are looking at Adinavaya. Adinavaya is can be broken into Adinavaya. Adinavaya. There are Navaya is for 9. Navaya is another word for 9. So there are 9 things. Adi. So we are going to look at this Adinavaya, right? In the process, we have to look at Asada quickly as well before we get to Adinava. So what is Asada? Rupam paticca sukhan somanassang ayang rupe asada. So that was Asada. That's how Asada is created. We learnt about it in a few episodes. Now you know about it. Rupam paticca sukhan somanassang. Rupam paticca uppajjati sukhan somanassang ayang rupe assada. But this sukhan somanassang is a good feeling. It is a pleasurable feeling. Right? Now we need to know, this pleasurable feeling, is it a good one or a bad one? We looked at this also last week or the week before in the Latukikopama Sutra. It explained about this sukha, what type of sukha this is. It's a milana sukhang, puthajjana sukhang, anarya sukhang, nasevitabbang, bhayitabbang. So you need to be scared of this kind of sukha. Although it seems like a nice feeling, it seems like good, asada is, that's why we tend to go behind asada. People tend to look for asada, gratification, pleasure. So you tend to go behind it because it feels good, it feels lovely. But once you understand the Dhamma, then you know this is not a very good pleasure to go behind, right? So therefore you need to get rid of this asadaya. Sadaya is a party or a pleasure, right? As is, you need to get rid of, right? That is what it means. That is the breakdown, that is the nirukti of that. Then we come to the adinavaya. Rupang aniccan dukkham viparinama dhammang ayang rupe adinavo. So now we are trying to break adinava down and look at it in detail. Rupang aniccan dukkham viparinama dhammang ayang rupe adinavo. We have looked at anicca, dukkha, anatta before. So these three are sanya. We looked at this anicca sanya, dukkha sanya and anatta sanya as well before. But what is a sanya? A perception. What is a sanya? Sang with jnana. Jnana is the wisdom. So you get together with the wisdom. So in other words, you apply these concepts with using the brain, right? So that is what sanya is. So anicca sanya is, you look at it through anicca, you look at it through dukkha, and you look at it through anatta. So that is what anicca, dukkha, anatta is, and adinava is. Rupe chandaraga vinayo chandaraga pahanam idan rupe nissaranam. So that is what nissarana was, right? We looked at that as well a few times. Let's break down the anicca sanya. In the anicca sanya sutra, there is a sutra in Sangyukta Nikaya called anicca sanya sutra. In there it explains, when one spends time on the anicca sanya, or if one is applying the anicca sanya, what happens to that person, or what happens is, spends all the kama raga, spends all the rupa raga, spends all the bhava raga, spends all the avidya, or spends as in it eliminates, it reduces these type. So in other words, this is what one needs to do, or to get to, in order to attain Nibbhana. Kama raga, get rid of the kama raga, rupa raga, and bhava raga. So when you get rid of all the bhava pacha jati, where there is no bhava, there is no jati. So that is the important thing about getting rid of the bhava. So in there it says in Pali, anicca sanya bhikkave bhavita bahulikata. Bhavita bahulikata means you use it. Bahulikata means you use it again and again and again, more often. Sabbang kamaragang pariyanti. Kamaraga, it will depreciate, or it will vanish. Sabba rupa ragam pariyanti. Sabba bhava ragam pariyanti. Sabbang avijjam pariyanti. Samuhanti. So it will get rid of these things slowly and it will eliminate it. So that is why it is very, very important to do the anicca sanya again and again and again, because if someone asks, okay, what do you have to do to get to Sotapanna? You need to do anicca sanya. What you need to do to get to the Sakadagami state? You need to do the anicca sanya. What do you need to do to become anagami? You need to do anicca sanya. So that is what you need to do. If anyone asks, that is all you need to do. Then everything happens. So that is why it's very important. So if this is to get rid of all the keles, ragadesha moha, then anicca sanya is the heart of Buddhism. This you need to understand that. Right? In Velama Sutra it's explained, concentrating on anicca, dukkha, anatta is how you can get most merits. So there's another way of getting Punya Ganga and Kusala Ganga, the rivers of merits, right? So it is explained in Velama Sutra. So coming back to the Adinava breakdown, Kuddaka Nikaya Pitaka Arya Satchappa Kassana Sutra. In there, they talk about 9 things. The 9, I was saying, Adi Navaya. We talked about 9 things. So what are these 9? Avijja, Tanha, Lobha, Dosa, Moha, Subha Sanya, Sukha Sanya, Nicca Sanya, Atta Sanya. There are 9 factors, 9 things that will take one through this sansara. So those are the 9. Avijja, Tanha, Lobha, Dosa, Moha, Subha Sanya, Sukha Sanya, Nicca Sanya and Atta Sanya. So if you take something as Atta, valuable, then you will go behind it. If you take it as with Avidya, or Tanha, or Lobha, Dosha, Moha, so all these 9 will take one through the sansara. So this is what took one through sansara. How do you attain Nibbhana? So if one wants to stop the sansara and one wants to get to Nibbhana, what should he do? There is something called the Nava Lokottara Sri Saddharma. Nava Lokottara Sri Saddharma. It is Lokottara, so it's transcendental. Sri Saddharma. Saddharma is Dharma and is Sat. It's a good one. Nava. Again there is 9. So what are these 9? It's explained in the same sutra in the Kuddaka Nikaya. Samatha Vipassana, Alobha Adosa Amoha, Asubha Sanya, Dukkha Sanya, Anicca Sanya, Anatta Sanya. So we have 9 here. So we were doing 9 before. If anyone who was going in the sansara, was traveling in the sansara cycle, was doing 9, but now there are 9 that one can do to eliminate this. The 9 are Samatha, Vipassana, Alobha, Adosha, Amoha, Asubha Sanya, Dukkha Sanya, Anicca Sanya and Anatta Sanya. So that is, those 9 are the opposite of the ones that we were talking about before. So those are the 9 that we need to do now. So Adi in a way is seeing the previous 9 and getting rid of the previous 9, right? So one creates a world and suffering, and the other one help to get out of the world and the suffering. Then moving on to the next important topic is Sankhara and Sankhara. This is also very important. Now I'll be using the Sankhara when I'm explaining a lot of things, but once we complete this area, you will know what Sankhara is and what Sankhara is clearly. So you don't need to worry about the words and the meanings anymore. Most of the people take Sankhara as physical items. Sankhara has nothing to do with physical items. This is something that you need to understand. They have explained it in several books that way. Sankhata. So listen to the words carefully. Sankhata. One is Sankhata and the other one is Sankhara. Right? Sankhata is something that was built or has been built by a collection of things. So Sankhata is the physical thing. Sankhata. In the Anguttara Nikaya, Sankhata Lakkana Sutra. So Sankhata Lakkana. Lakkana is the characteristics. Lakkana means characteristics of the Sankhata. So they are talking about characteristics of a Sankhata. There are 3 characteristics of something that was built by a collection. The 3 are: there is a birth, there is a death, and there is a change. So every Sankhata, there is a start to it, right? It will change and there is an end to it. So it's the same. We can call it a birth. Doesn't have to be a living being or living thing. If it's a car, there is a birth. Once it's built, it's born, right? And then it changes, it depreciates, and then once it's gone forever, there is no car. That means it's the death of the car. For something that was not produced or built, it is called asankhata. If there is anything that is not built or produced, that doesn't have a birth, that doesn't have a death, and that doesn't change, and that is called asankhata. So sankhata and asankhata. Asankhata is the opposite of sankhata, and the only asankhata thing is Nibbhana. Nibbhana is asankhata. So there is no birth to Nibbhana. There is no death. That's why they say amara, mara. When someone dies, you die. There is no death means amara, amaraniyam, right? And then it doesn't change. It's tata. That's why they say tata. It's not anyata. Yeah, that's why we say tata. Tata agata. When one comes to tata, or when one comes to a no change. When I say a no change, that means that person came to that state that will not change, kind of thing. So there is no depreciation of that, right? That's why we call tathagata. Tata agata. So everything in this world, including Arya Ashtangika Marga, even the eightfold path, is a sankhata. And anything that you think of, anything that comes to the mind, they are all sankhata, because there is a birth to it and there is an end to it, right? Only Nibbhana is asankhata. It's explained in the Chullavedalla Sutra, Sankhata Lakshana Sutra. So now we move on to Sankhara. What are Sankhara? How does Sankhara happen? So this is very important, right? It's been explained in the Kajjaniya Sutra. Also something that you need to know about this, when we talk about the Kajjaniya Sutra, I have explained this before. There are things that talk about just the topic, Matruka Pali. So when something is being explained in the Thripitaka, in some other sutra, they only talk about in very, very really short summary. So taking that, you can't assume a lot of things by taking that. You need to go into more detail and find out what they were talking about in some other sutras. Because, for example, Sariputta and Lord Buddha were the most intelligent two from the Buddha Sasana. So when they were talking, most of the things were in summary. But there are some sutra where Kottita and Sariputta was talking, there was more detail in those sutras. So sometimes you have to take it, you can't just take it from one place and assume that's it. That's why we take a lot of examples and extracts from a lot of places, so that we know we are not going in the wrong route. So these have to map, they have to make sense. It doesn't matter where you're taking from, right? An example for that is actually, say, when your wife or your mother or someone says go shopping, you just don't go shopping just because she said go shopping, so I'm going shopping. No, she didn't mean just go shopping. She meant, okay, get ready, take the keys, take the car, take money, make sure to look for what is missing in the house, what needs to be bought, and then make a list and go shopping. But she didn't include everything in there, but she said, can you go shopping? So just because they said go shopping, you can't just go shopping. So that is what has happened to most of the people. When they say do bhavana, say for example do meditation, they will just think, here it says do meditation. So what is wrong in doing meditation? In the Thripitaka it says do meditation, I am doing meditation. So that's not the point. When they say do meditation, what kind of meditation? You need to know what kind of meditation and what types of meditation. What is the right meditation? So you might have to go into different sutta to find out more information about this. So Sankhara Nirodha is also something like that. So when they say Sankhara Nirodha, you need to understand what Sankhara Nirodha is. Exactly they are talking about. You can't just they say Sankhara Nirodha, so what is the problem? So you can't assume something like that. So in Kajjaniya Sutra they are asking, Kincha bhikkave sankhare vadeta Sankharam abhisankarantiti ko bhikkave tasma Sankharati uchati. You do Sankhara and then Abhisankhara. Therefore it is Sankhara. So this Sankhara, when what they are talking about is the Abhisankhara. That is what you need to understand. You can't just take every Sankhara and assume this is what they were talking about. Sankhara. So doing Sang. Kara is like doing. The meaning of kara is doing. So what is doing? Doing sang. So the collection is what you're doing. So let's see in detail what they're talking about here. Right? Note that there are also sankhara without abhisankhara. Because I'm sure you know about it. Because even Arihatun Wahanse has sankhara. So there is a vipaka and abhisankhara. There are 5 aggregates, Rupa Vedana Sanya Sankhara Vijnana, and then you have the Rupa Upadana, Vedana Upadana, Sanya Upadana, Vijnana, Sankhara Upadana, Vijnana Upadana. So the Upadana is what is not there with Arihatun Wahanse. So we should only worry about the Abhisankhara with Raga, Dvesha and Moha. Rahatan Wahanse does not have Raga, Dvesha, Moha. For example, after going into say dane or a alms, right, they will not go back to the temple or the place where they stay and think, this family is a very good family. They did the alms really well. Wow, kind of thing. So that's not the thought process that will run through an Arihatun Wahanse, right? But they will visit the place, they will have food, they will choose where to sit, things like that will happen. So there will be Sankhara but not Abhisankhara. The noble person who has comprehended Dhamma knows when this happens. That is the the important thing about this, right? So also this in the Kajjaniya Sutra, what they are saying is this Abhisankhara process, they are calling it Kajjaniya. Kajjaniya is like by being eaten, right? What is by being eaten by? So it is another way of looking at it, right? So what they are saying is the noble person who has comprehended the Dhamma knows when this happens, a Rupa is destroying or going to be destroyed or going to destroy him. So when that person sees a Rupa or an image, if a Raga, Dvesha or Moha thought comes into his mind and it comes to a stage where it's going to get to Abhisankhara, he will think, oh, this Rupa is going to eat me. Or in other words, this Rupa is going to destroy me. This image is going to destroy me. And I need to stop this kind of thing. So that is another way of looking at it and stopping the Abhisankhara process. And when one understands this and concentrates on this more and more, he knows that, oh, this is what has happened in the past. Even in the future, this is what will happen. So even he's not going to get attached with a Rupa in the future or something that he has not seen. Say for example, oh, the Rupa here is like this. He's not going to think, oh, will the Rupa in the heavens be different from this? No, he knows that it will be the same. So knowing about the past, he knows about the future, and therefore he stops what is happening in the present. Because you can only do something in the present, right? So how do you become free? So stop the present Abhisankhara, and that is how you become free from that, right? Moving on to Vibhanga Prakarane, Paticca Sampada Vibhanga, Tatta Katama Avidya Pacca Sankharo. So it's the same thing we are talking about, the Sankhara. What is Sankhara? He's asking. Tatta Katama Avidya Pacca Sankhara. What is Avidya Pacca Sankhara? What does that mean? Ya Chetana Sanchetana Chaitaitam Ayang Uchati Avidya Pacca Sankhara. So what does that mean? Chetana, Sanchetana Chaitaitam. Those are that is what is called Avidya Pacca Sankhara. Chetana is creating the mind. We have spoken about this before, but it is to do with creating the mind. So how do you create the mind? You create the mind with 6 reasons. Hetu. So there are 6. What are the 6? Hetu. Haye etu is hetu. Etu is wrapped. It's wrapped with what? 6 things. What are the 6? Alobha, adesha, amoha, lobha, dvesha, moha. Those are the 6 things. So that is you can create a mind by lobha. You can create a mind with alobha. You can create a mind with dvesha, advesha, moha, amoha. So this alobha, advesha, amoha are the merits. And lobha, dvesha, moha are the sins. Right? Even thinking about a merit, right? That is also a abhisankhara. Punya abhisankhara. They are called punya abhisankhara. Punya is a merit. If one is thinking about a dvesha thing or something to do with hatred, that is a apunya abhisankhara. Right? If you stop this process of creating chitta or sit or the chetana, that is the meditation. So when you sit down to meditate, you don't think. You don't sit down and start thinking, oh, I was doing this merit yesterday, that merit day before. So that's not the meditation. That is not the Arya meditation. That is not the way to achieve Nibbhana. So you stop the the abhisankara process. So this is also abhisankara. If you're thinking, that is abhisankara, right? Na chetana karani sutra. Na chetana. Chetana bhikkave kammam vadami. So moving on, in most of the places you might have heard this, Chetana bhikkave kammam vadami. So it is also Paticcasamuppada in a really short version of Paticcasamuppada. The Paticcasamuppada cycle, it doesn't have to be avidya, pacca, sankhara and then go all the way cycle, right? It can start from anywhere, it can go to anywhere. So here chetana ham bhikkave kammam vadami. So that ends up in kamma. Abhi chetana, it becomes abhisankara, then abhivinyana, and it goes on to become a kamma. What is avidya? Now we move on to the next one, which is what is avidya? Not comprehending the Four Noble Truths is avidya, right? So what are sankhara that results in because of avidya? Now you need to understand, okay, because of avidya, what are the sankhara that results? You have punyabhisankara, apunyabhisankara, aninjabhisankara, then you can have kaya sankhara, vak sankhara or vachi sankhara, and chitta sankhara, or you can call it mano sankhara as well. We are going to look at the 6 in detail. So punyabhisankara are the ones to do with dana, sila, bhavana, right, kind of thing. So then these will end up in kamavachara and rupavachara places or planes, right? Dana, sila, bhavana. So dana, sila, bhavana, when I say dana, sila, bhavana, you might think, oh, dana, sila, bhavana are good things to do. So why are you saying dana, sila, bhavana creates abhisankara? So there are 2 versions of dana, sila, bhavana. So one can give alms or observe sil or even meditate with raga to get something in return in the world. So you think, oh, because these give a lot of merits, so by getting a lot of merits, in future I will be able to have a lot of comfort and pleasure. So that is another mentality that people might have. So you need to understand that too, right? So those will keep you in the samsara. They are good things to do. It will give you merits, but the thing is, it will keep you in the samsara. And these are not punya ganga, kusala ganga, because you are thinking about your future and about a return, right? A noble person, on the other hand, would do dana, sila and bhavana, but they do through avidya nirodha sankhara nirodho cycle. So they don't do it to, they do it to attain Nibbhana. So that is the difference, right? Then moving on to the next one is punyabhisankara we talked about. Now it is apunyabhisankara. So the 10 immoral activities are the apunyabhisankara. So when I say sankhara, it's creating the mind. You're creating the mind towards the immoral activities. Earlier you're creating the mind towards merits. Then aninjabhisankara is doing dhyana. So you're getting into dhyana, but you're getting into dhyana to end up in a arupavachara plane. So it's not to end the samsara cycle. Like some ascetics, they go to dhyana because they get the pleasurable feeling from the dhyana. So now they want to go to arupa planes, right? So that is aninjabhisankara. Then you have kaya sankhara, vachi sankhara and mano sankhara. Kaya sankhara is kaya sanchetana, kaya sankhara. Kaya sanchetana is you are creating the mind for something, for some action. Vachi Sankhara is you're creating the mind for words or to speak or to say something. Mano Sankhara is you're creating the mind to think. Right? So Sankhara is Chetana. So Sankhara is to do with creating the mind. It is not an item, or it is not a physical item or anything. Sankhara is to do with the mind. So that is the most important thing you need to know. Moving on to the Anguttara Nikaya Sumana Sutra. Now we talked about merits, and in the Sumana Sutra it talks about merits. It says Ma bhikkave puññānam bāita sukhaṃ setam adivaccanam puññanti. So it says merits is another word for pleasure. Right? So they are saying for the gods, for the monks, for the normal people, merits are very important. Merits must be done. So it is said in the Sumana Sutra, why do you need to do merits? Even if you don't succeed this life. Say for example, if you don't end up the samsara cycle, you will still get a lot of things, and you are creating a field of merits in order to walk the path. It doesn't matter whether you're where you are, right? If you have a lot of merits, it will create a punya samanantarayak, an environment of merits, so that all the anantara that draws in will be punya anantara. So it's like if you're in a good place, you will get all the good things. If you are in a prison, you are not going to get any good thing, right? It depends on where you are staying. So you are creating an environment for you so that it will help you in the process. It will help you walk in the path. So that is why it's very important to do more and more merits. For example, Sivali Maharahatan Wahanse, he had given so much in the previous lives, so he never had any problem to do with dana. So in terms of food, he had no problem. Once there was a time when Tathagata, a set of monks, including Tathagata and Wahanse, had to go in a really rural place, and it was with a lot of drought or something, and most of the monks were scared that they won't have food while traveling. And then Tathagata and Wahanse asked, look and see if Sivali is there. So what we need to take from there is, what he tried to say was, if Sivali Rahatan Wahanse was there, he was saying you don't need to be scared of anything, you don't need to worry about anything, because for the merits he has done, even the people who are around him will get food. So that is how much merits is done. So that is why it's very important to do that, right? The merits are very important. In the Sumana Sutra itself, it says Dhanani datum punyani katum. So you need to do this, you need to give, you need to do a lot of merits, right? The point is, there are saying that there are major ones as well as minor ones, like we the ones that we talked about. If one understands Dhamma, one knows the path, one has comprehended Dhamma, then that person knows about the Punya Ganga and Kusala Ganga, the rivers of merits. Then that person can, create rivers of merits. But a person who has not comprehended the Dhamma, that person will have to also have a way of creating merits, right? So for them, they will have to go through the small versions of merits, which are like it's, you can't compare doing anicca meditation and giving alms. So it's doing anicca for a few seconds will give you trillion times more merits than doing alms. So that is the difference, right? Patisambhida Magga Prakarane. We move on to in the Patisambhida Magga Prakarane, it says Sabbe Sankhara Anicca, Sabbe Sankhara Dukkha, Sabbe Dhamma Anattati. So here we need to understand what Sabbe Sankhara Anicca means. Sabbe Sankhara. Now we know what Sankhara is. What is anicca? We know what anicca is. In here it explains aniccang kayattena. In the same sutra it explains aniccang kayattena or attiyati. So you need to look at the sankhara in a attiyati manner. Attiyati is, there is no point in doing it. Attiyati, when I say attiyati, the sanya you need to get is masle neti ata baluleva kanne. So a dog with a bone, attiyati, ata, that's a bone. You need to get that sanya all of a sudden, and then you will know what I am talking about. Okay, so it's like, oh, we are trying to fulfill, but there is nothing in that bone to fulfill. So that is the sanya you need to get. So that is how you look at through anicca, right? Look at sankhara through anicca. Sabbe sankhara anicca. It's, and also something that you need to know is it's inside. It's nothing to do with outside, right? So you need to look at in your mind, right? This is very important. It doesn't fulfill. What doesn't fulfill? Your mind. It's to do with the mind, right? That's why it doesn't fulfill. Then sabbe sankhara dukkha. In here it explains again dukkham bhayattena. Why is it bhayattena? Why do you have to be scared of it? Because it's anarya sukham. Because it's milana sukham. Putajjana sukham. That's why you need to be scared of this. Dukkha dukkha, sankhara dukkha, viparinama dukkha. You end up with those three dukkha if you go behind it. So that is why it's a dukkha. Then sabbe dhamma anattati, anattati, anartha, anattang asara kattenati, asara, notsara. That means it's not worth doing it. There is no value of doing it. So that is how you get rid of the abhisankara process. Whenever you come to a place where, okay, you feel like, oh, there is something in there, then you concentrate, focus, and see if you can see the valueless thing, or why you need to be scared of, and that it's not going to fulfill kind of thing. Then you can stop the process of abhisankara. That is how this can be done, right? It is all about looking inside your mind, right? So another thing you need to understand here is it's about the idea, not about the words. You need to get to the idea. You need to get to the feel of it. For example, in the Pena Pindupama Sutra, they talk about Pena Pinduva Asarai, Rupaya Asarai. So I explained this in when I was doing the Pena Pinduva Asarai Karmasthane. So I reinforced on the fact that it is to do with the asara. It's not about Pena Pindua. So because most of the people, they think about the rupa, they are trying to compare with the penapindu. Oh, there is penapindu and there is rupa. You can see that and see this. It's not to do with that or the color or anything like that. It is to do with the fact that it is asara. Anattang asara kattenati. So that is what you need to see in the, right? So that is how you compare and contrast. When you look at something, you apply it through the wisdom by applying the right concepts, making sure you understand that and get the right feeling through that. So that is what you need to do.